Who would have thought even a few years ago that the re-election of a U.S. president would be down to debating how much of a racist he is? Come on, if it's Donald Trump who's aiming at staying in the White House for another 4 years, why should anyone be surprised? It's already begun. Well, I mean, yet another round of it has begun.
Representative Elijah Cummings has been a brutal bully, shouting and screaming at the men and women of Border Patrol about conditions at the southern border, when actually his Baltimore district is far worse and more dangerous. Cummings district is a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess. If he spent more time in Baltimore, maybe he could help clean up this very dangerous and filthy place.
We talk about is how racist Donald Trump is, and we're using the word racist.
President Trump again being called a racist.
He was criticized for his record on race.
This is being perceived as racist.
Racism as a political strategy.
His racist tendencies and his never-ending campaign continues.
There is nothing racist in stating plainly what most people already know, that Elijah Cummings has done a terrible job for the people of his district and of Baltimore itself. Dems always play the race card when they are unable to win with facts. Shame.
It isn't rocket science to predict the American public is lined up for further division. Some will clearly just blame it on the MAGA man with everything he says or tweets. Others will keep talking of a witch hunt and saying the president doesn't deserve the labels thrown at him. Does this environment give extra energy to the ultra-left or the ultra-right? Most probably yes, and in the last couple of years, we have seen what happens when that energy boils over. President Trump is obviously looking at how to deal with today's reality through his own lens.
Consideration is being given to declaring Antifa the gutless radical left whack jobs who go around hitting people over the heads with baseball bats. A major organisation of terror, along with MS-13 and others, would make it easier for police to do their job.
I should point out, though, that Antifa is not really an organization. It's a movement. No membership fees or pledges of allegiance are needed to become one of the Antifa. All you have to do is believe in direct action and, indeed, take action, which often means violence against those considered to be fascists. Won't labeling the president a racist, a man openly calling Antifa to be labeled terrorists, the perfect recipe for some real trouble ahead? Speaking of terrorists, the top man at the FBI told the Senate last week that the growing number of arrests related to domestic terrorism is being fueled in part by the opposite side, white supremacy.
I will say that a majority of the domestic terrorism cases that we've investigated are motivated by some version of what you might call white supremacists.
So, with the groundwork laid for another polarized, dirty fight for the next presidency, things are likely to get a lot more tribal.